Good morning. A little interesting job just before Christmas here. So this old shed, I don't know when it was built, but the property is 1815 it was built. So it's a really old structure, but it kind of blocks the view of the Paving countryside. So the shed's coming down, and we're going to put a concrete base in, do a little bit of groundworks, and then there's a summer house going here next spring. So today's job, we're going to reduce this plum tree back, cut all the ivy back just to see what the job looks like, and then we can start taking the shed down. So we shall bob back and just see how we're getting on. So what we've done now is we just cleared around the shed roof with the actual sheds held together with the ivy. And we'll just clear a bit of an area where we can start working on this tree and pruning it back. So what we do is this limb's going to be taken off, but when you're pruning, ideally you do it in the dormant season, so when the leaves have dropped, all the energy's gone down into the roots from the previous year's growth. So you cut it back to growth points where a limb would fork off. That's called the growth point. Because then what the tree does, in all this area, there's dormant buds waiting to sprout. So when they come out of this area around your cuts, that's called advantageous bud growth, because the tree's taking advantage of the new lease of life that it can get. Sunlight's getting to that area, and then it just exploding growth. Then you also get dormant bud growth, which, let's see, so when this was pruned back, in there will have been this bud originally. So as this gets pruned back there, you get advantageous bud growth. So like you can see there, the tree's taking advantage of all the new growth exploded, but then it sends out buds that are dormant in the actual stem. So this is called dormant bud growth. So it's just as the tree just takes a chance just to get revitalised and just send on. So we shall keep pruning back, cutting back to growth points, and then we'll join you later on. So we've pruned the plum tree. Just have a quick look at this. You see how the heartwood changes to a beautiful purple colour. It looks beautiful, wouldn't it? Like it's like all planked up or put in some furniture. So yeah, that's done. That's done and dusted. Don't have to think about it anymore. So now we're stripping the grey slate roof. So this is the original roof, original timbers. Now these grey slate now is so expensive. I think off the top of my head, I think they're about £600 a tonne. They'll be way over a tonne on this roof. Because they don't make them anymore, and they used to just like get big blocks of stone, and then a banksman in the quarry, run a seam down, open a seam up, pop them out, and then they just shape them up into the flags. Because now we import stone from India for roofs, we can do it way cheaper with machinery and shipping and containers and stuff. So there's no one in this country makes grey slate from the quarries anymore. It's a bit of a shame, but progress apparently. So what they used to do is when the battens hold the slates in place with the weight of the slate above, pinches it down, and let's see if we can find one. So they used to sitting behind the battens. We've got one here. Where they're all gone. Ah, we have one here. Let's lift this one up. So they drill a hole in the top of the slate using a chisel and a hammer, and all that's holding the slate on behind the batten is this hardwood peg. It might be 200 year old, that. It's still as good as the day that it was carved. And you can even see, if you have a close look at it, you can see the knife marks of the roofer as he just shaped it to fit in that little hole there. So that just sits behind, stops it from slipping down. So we shall carry on filling some crates, and we'll come back when we get to the excitement, knocking it down, get that sledgehammer swinging. So the roof's off, and we've started the demolition of the shed. each job kind of relies on the next one. So what we've done is we've put like a land drain in, just taking the surface runoff that can get the water away. Because once the concrete's down, we don't want any water on here. Once we're getting away. So what we did before the started the demolition, this house is called Springfield House, and a spring comes from up on the hill down a land drain, and it comes out into the garden, just down here somewhere. And then before the tarmacking was done, the drain was put on underneath the road, and then it just kind of boiled up here to a wet spot. So we found where the drain was, and we made a little land drain. You can just see it here a little bit. So we channeled it through, and it terminates just past here. We made an old school land drain. So what you do is you build like a little dry stone wall. Then we put the 4-inch drain pipe in, clean stone on top. Then we put like little flags, substantial flags on top. So then when we demolish everything, bring the level up, the water can still get quite happily through. And then once this wall comes down, it can like terminate through and just drip into the field. So this land drain goes down into a little culvert that's down here. And you can see terminates there. We're going to put a little clay pipe just to send the water through. And then there's a wall, or maybe the railings will return back to the wall. And then we're going to, next job is to take the rest of the old shed down. And then reclaim some of the stone and build this level up. So there's a lot of work left to do here before we can sit out with a brew on the concrete. So we shall come back soon and see what we've done. Right, so temporarily the job's finished now. We demolished the shed, no problems. But when we got to the back wall, the roof was compacted, the whole outhouse. So when we took the roof off, all the walls started moving. Come back the next day, it moved like 3 inch. And all the wall on the field side were bellied out, so we took it out. So we changed the plan. So as you can see now, there's a right nice batter on this wall. Took it down, we rebuilt the old dry stone. So originally there was going to be a concrete base here for a summer house, but the client's changed their mind. We're just going to have some Yorkstone flags here now, but we've got jobs pressing, so that's the job for next month. So we used the stone from the outhouse to rebuild the dry stone wall. See? And then we put like a little nib in the wall, just to join the wall up to the railings. All the drains are working nicely. This drain, if you remember, the drain came right across. We put that through the other side of the wall with like a nice clay pipe, so when you look from the other side, you just see the clay pipe. That's running, so we know everything's working right. But because we have a level here and the driveway slopes up, we're left with like a wedge of cheese. So we've rebuilt like a little wall dry stone wall here, and then the drain, taking any water off the driveway away down into that stuff. And one going right down the back here, out into the field. So when we come back in February, it's now January, we're going to get these Yorkstone flags down. It'll look spot on. We should be done just in time for the weather just to start warming up. The buds will come out and we can sit out with a cup of tea. So we shall return then and see how we get on. Good afternoon everybody. We're in the middle of an epidemic. You gotta be so careful. Actually, there's no epidemic here, is there? There's nothing to be scared of really. But if this impending doom does come, at least this client has somewhere beautiful to sit out and have a cup of tea and some cake before the passing comes. So if you remember, a couple of months in, we knocked the shed down, we put the dry stone wall there. So originally the idea was to put like a concrete pad in here, and then we could have got like a summer house. But just as we were finishing the job, the spec changed, and the idea changed. We thought we'll get some flags down instead. So we could have gone for like Indian stones, concrete flags, and put it in the concrete, but because it's the property was built in 1826, As you can see, the existing York flags. The client decided to carry on across and through, so as you can see, York flags are incredibly thick compared to Indian flags, which are like only an inch or so. They'll last forever. These flags have probably made I don't know, 250, 100 years since. And these particular flags were reclaimed from the back streets of Colne. My supplier, he has a contact, and they were lifting a back street in Colne, tarmacking it. So he's bought the flags, and now they're going to be here for a long time to come, the foreseeable future. So a few different ways to lay flags. You can have run them in courses if you have like a specified amount and they're all the same size, or you can lay them randomly like we've done here. So it's a real simple technique. Shall we start at the beginning? So if you remember when we left, there was a roll of weed membrane down. That just stops any weeds coming up, and then the base layer gets put in, and that gets compacted, and then onto the base layer, because these flags are so thick, we lay them on a 20mm dust base. So that once they're bedded on that, they're not going anywhere. In the old days, they used to lay flags on coal ashes from the fires. There used to be big bins at the end of the roads. People would put the fire ashes in, and then contractors use it for lime mortar, bedding flags on, bedding cobbles on. We don't have it now. You pay for everything. So we've got some 20mm to dust in, blinded it off, and then we just lay each flag to string line to level. As you see, it looks really nice. I really like how the different colours have come through. Just adds a bit of like vibrancy to the finished job. So because there was two levels here, we were a bit unsure of what to do. So as you can see from this side, we start off and we've got the driveway to contend with. So the driveway runs up. Obviously you don't want to be laid on an angle, sipping the old Pinot Grigio, so the flag area is level, and what we've done is this low wall, we've put the flag copings on the same level as the stone sets, but we've like graded off to nothing here, so there's a very slight wall coming up. It's nice how you can see the stonework at the bottom, and then the same here. So we've broke the two levels up with a little step, and we've used actual flags for the step. We've had a very slight slope on it, running down, and then there's a soak away there. The wall's going to get away through the wall. Now, I overlooked something on the previous job, so we put the big drain in. If you remember, there's loads of water coming up, bubbling up in that corner, so we put a drain in underneath the shed, through the wall. Probably you'll see there's like a little clear drain there. So the drain works perfectly. But silly Danny didn't think about the water that's going to be moving out somewhere else. So all this area was, over the last 6 weeks, has all been really boggy. There's some marsh plants coming up. The customer wasn't happy because the field's getting wet. So we had to put a drain in. So what we did is an old land drain comes across. I don't know if you better see it. But this big sough here comes down off the top, straight under there, and right down the field. So I thought, I wonder if we can tap into that and we can get the drain into the soak away. So what we did is we dug down, we found the old land drain. So that could have been there like 150, 200 years, still working, still flowing perfectly. And then we dug a channel, went straight across where the water's flowing out, tapped into the drain, stoned it up, soiled it up, and now, with these twisted fingers, the water should be getting away no problem. So that was that job sorted. So then from this level, there's just some like decorative gravel here, so we've stripped all that off. Tram, base level, compact it, and then the 20mm to dust on top, and we laid the flags. So we're in two minds of just how to finish the job. With these copings being all higgledy-piggledy on the back, I thought we'd carry on that higgledy-piggledy with the edge of the flags here, instead of having it in a straight line. I think it blends in really, really nicely. As you can see, we've done exactly the same thing on the other side with a soil bed going under the conifers, so that can get planted up with some whatever you like, some stuff that grows, some greenery. So the flags are down, and because the flags are 2.5 to 3 inches thick, what we do is we back pointed them. So back pointing is, so you point it with like a sand and cement mixture, and that stops the flags from shifting. And then we've finished off the pointing with a jointed resin compound. So, and what that is, it's like a resin compound with bits of sand and stuff in, and it's like it's an amazing product because it sets off. You can lay it in the rain. Any chump can lay it, which is as I have shown. So you just wet the flags, make sure they're clean, dollop it on, brush it into the joints. Then we trowel it in, brush it in again, wet it, then brush it all off. The whole thing start to finish to point this up took about an hour, whereas normally if we were using the like a finger trowel, it'd be a day's work there. So right, it's 5 o'clock and I think we're nearly done. I'll go and disinfect myself, eat some fruit and see if I can find some toilet roll, because there isn't any toilet roll left in the shops. How ridiculous. So right, we'll see you later now. Goodbye.